What was your reaction when you heard it?
Just blind fury, really. But as an England cricket fan, never mind the fact I'm a friend of Kevin Pietersen's, it makes no sense that after the worst drubbing we've ever had in an Ashes series abroad, we get rid of the guy who was the highest run scorer and is, by common acceptance around the world, our best, most exciting player.
And yet, Alistair Cook sat in on that decision. The ECB, they knew what went on that tour. They chose to get rid of that guy who's so talented. Don't we have to trust that they know best on this?
Well, Alistair Cook has turned out to be the worst Ashes touring captain in the history of English cricket. And yet he is the man who has helped preside over the downfall of Kevin Pietersen, because it suits him and the ECB to make Kevin the scapegoat. But Kevin Pietersen's our best player. You know, he has scored more runs than any English cricketer in history in all forms of the game. He was our highest run scorer in Australia. He's the player that most of our opponents fear most. He is valued in the Indian Premier League as one of the highest valued players in the world. And we're dumping him on the eve of a 2020 World Cup, an Ashes series next summer in England. The whole thing is completely crackers. And I can't help but feel it is down to jealousy amongst some of his teammates. It's down to pig-headedness and stubbornness from the ECB. And it's down to a last revenge act by Andy Flower, who's been a dictator and a sort of bossy headmaster in that team for way too long.
He does divide opinion, though, doesn't he? I mean, why? Probably more than any cricketer in history. Why does he divide opinion quite so ferociously?
Most of the greatest sportsmen in history divide opinion. You know, Muhammad Ali divided opinion. Tiger Woods divided opinion. Kevin Pietersen is no more difficult to manage than Ian Botham or Freddie Flintoff or David Gower or any of the other brilliant maverick cricketers we've had. The analogy I'd like to put to the sporting public in Britain is this. Would we drop Wayne Rooney on the eve of this World Cup this summer because some of the management feel that he's difficult to manage? Well, of course we wouldn't. We get a new manager. We haven't even got a coach right now. Who's this guy going to be? The coach will come in and the first name he'll put down is Kevin Pietersen, and he'll be told, oh no, hang on, sorry, we got rid of him. And he'll say, why? He's our best player. Yeah, that's why we got rid of him. Doesn't make sense.
Is there a way back, do you think, or is this it for him?
I think there is a way back. Kevin Pietersen's 33 years old. Again, to put it in context, Sachin Tendulkar has just retired from Indian international cricket, age 40. So potentially we've got another 5-6 years of Kevin Pietersen if the ECB take off their ridiculous blinkers and admit what they're doing is utterly absurd. 95% of all the people on Twitter and Facebook tonight want Kevin Pietersen back in the England team. I'm launching a campaign to have Pietersen reinstated as a matter of urgency. And we need a coach who's got the balls to deal with a guy who's a maverick, but a bit difficult, and will probably challenge authority. I want people like that in the team, not a bunch of yes men who we saw disintegrate in the heat of the battle in Australia.
So who do you get rid of after that debacle in Australia? What was the answer? What is the answer if you keep Kevin Pietersen with whatever the problems were?
Well, clearly Andy Flower's gone, and he as a coach had to take most responsibility. He helped pick the team, he found these players, he couldn't motivate them, he had to go and he's gone. But Alistair Cook was an atrocious captain. And I don't think against Alistair Cook, he seems a perfectly nice guy, way too nice to be captain. I don't want Mr. Nice Guy sucking up to his management in the way that Alistair Cook does. He scored no runs on the tour, almost all his decisions were terrible, it was the worst I've seen England ever play, and he was the captain. He should take the rap and resign as captain. I keep him as opening batsman, but he's got to find his form again. But you don't, in a tour where you've lost Jonathan Trott, who was our mainstay number 3. We've lost Graham Swan, who decided to go home halfway through, who was our frontline spinner. Jimmy Anderson maybe reaching the end of his career. What sense does it make to get rid of our best batsman and the best batsman England has arguably ever had when he's 33 years old? It is ridiculous.
There's a gap at number 4. We saw you in the nets with Brett Lee. You fancy it?
Well, I did the Brett Lee thing to simply prove that we needed some gumption out there, you know? All right, I didn't show the best technique imaginable, but he was bowling about 100 miles an hour and bowling 2 foot no balls. Anyone would have struggled. Even KP admitted he would have done. But you know, here's the deal with the England thing. I'm a massive England cricket fan. Yes, I'm a friend of Kevin Pietersen's, but that's nothing to do with my reaction to this. I want to go to Lord's next summer, twice, as I always do, and I want to drink a glass of champagne, and I want to toast the arrival of Kevin Pietersen at the crease against Sri Lanka and India, because to me, he's box office. He's exciting. He's magnificent on his day. He's the best in the world at what he does on his day. most England fans share my view. And the ECB have just got it wrong. And Paul Danton, who's the new boss of the ECB, has made one decision so far, and it's the worst decision I can remember in modern English cricket history. So, in my view, Danton should be the one, considering his position, not turfing out the best player we've got.